Hi everyone, my name is Sherry. I'm the owner of Brush Paint Studio and Vintage here in Konstantin, Poland. If you're regularly on social media like I am, you've probably seen furniture flipping and wondered what exactly is it. Well, furniture flipping is when you take an old, unloved, used piece of furniture that you found on the cheap and lightly renovated it to sell it for a profit. And believe it or not, this is a great way to make money or supplement your income. So I've had my shop here in Konstantin, Poland for about 10 years, and I am essentially flipping furniture. I renovate and fix up old, unloved, out-of-date furniture. And I thought it would be a good idea to share some of the tips and tricks that I've learned when flipping furniture for somebody who would like to sell out of their home or somebody who would eventually like to open up their own shop. So my plan is to make this into a series for anybody who thinks that they might be interested in flipping furniture. Some of the topics that I'm going to include in upcoming videos are going to be the basics like tools of the trade, types of paint, staging furniture, and social media. So if you think you might be interested, please like, subscribe, leave a comment or a question. And starting out in today's video, I'm going to talk about where to find your furniture. So where to find your furniture if you're on an extreme budget? Believe it or not, the best place to look is walking around your area, your community on garbage day. People will often just want to get rid of stuff, so they'll throw it out on the trash and hope somebody will pick it up. And that just having a walk around your neighborhood will often find some of the best treasures, believe it or not. After you've done that, another great place is just quite simply ask your friends and family if they've got any old pieces that they would be willing to donate, they don't use anymore, or they would be willing to sell for cheap. Explain. I'm trying to flip furniture and I'm looking for the cheapest possible. Would you have a problem if I bought this for you and then sold it for more expensive? What do you think? Honesty is always the best policy, but and often, more often or not, you'll find out that people just really want to clean out their space, and it doesn't spark joy anymore. So don't be afraid to walk around your area. Don't be afraid to ask your friends and family. The next cost-effective way to find old used furniture would be a yard sale, especially in the warmer months. A community yard sale, community car boot sale, something like that. People usually want to get rid of their old stuff that just seems to be hanging out in their house that they have no use for, but they don't want to throw it in the garbage, so they'll put it in a car boot sale or a yard sale, and they often are willing to get rid of it for a really cheap price just to get rid of it. I mean, people aren't putting out family heirlooms in a yard sale. They're getting rid of stuff that they no longer find a use for. Then following that, one of my favorite places to go are secondhand shops. I'm not one for haggling a price, so I actually just like seeing how much something costs and I decide if it's worth it or if it's not worth it. So I will go to secondhand places, and depending where you live in the world, of course you have Salvation Army or St. Vincent de Paul. And finally, the last place that I think is probably my favorite is online. Depending on where you live, you may have a Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. There is also Facebook groups for your town or city, and people will often put for sale FreeCycle. eBay is hit or miss, depending on where you live, depending on the time of year. I find there are a lot of antiques on there and not so much stuff that people just want to get rid of. So I would probably say that Facebook Marketplace is probably the best option for starting out to try and flip a piece of furniture. So the goal behind flipping furniture is to actually make a profit. So you're trying to find the cheapest piece possible and do a relatively easy renovation with it to make the biggest profit. So what I'm recommending for a beginner is something quite simple, like a chest of drawers, a side chair, a nightstand, a pair of nightstands actually. Something quite simple that is easily painted and will have the greatest before and after effect. If you're searching for furniture in person, make sure you really inspect the furniture. Open drawers, open doors, check if there's any little creatures living in there, check for little holes from little creatures. If you see that, give it a hard pass. Broken legs, unless you're really handy or unless the legs are easily replaced, I would recommend staying away from a piece with a broken leg. Just really inspect the piece, make sure that it doesn't have a lot of damage to it. Some things like holes, they're easily repaired, but things like heavily peeling veneer or serious cracks or broken end pieces or broken details, they might be a little bit more difficult to fix up, and for a beginner, I don't really recommend that. Another thing that I really recommend you stay away from in the beginning is baby cribs and baby furniture, like a changing table. So these often have safety requirements on them, safety labels, and putting a coat of paint on it and trying to sell that, I don't recommend it. They're not big sellers anyway. The one children's item that I do actually recommend is the little square table with 2 chairs. I think IKEA has something like that. And they are, people use them for a short period of time and then they try to get rid of them. So if you do see them and you can get it for cheap, it's worth buying that and then a coat of paint and then staging that, taking a photo and selling that on Facebook Marketplace. You may be very lucky. So I'm leaving you with an assignment. Your assignment is to find a piece of furniture for as cheap as you possibly can. Something that doesn't require a lot of repair work. Holes are okay, don't worry about that. We'll get to that in some upcoming videos. Something without any serious visible damage, something that doesn't smell, something that's not too big, something that is relatively simple to paint. So your goal, garbage day, flea markets, secondhand shops, online shops, find what you can, find it for as cheap as you can. So if you're interested in following along with this series, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you have a question or something that you wanted to say or some advice. And we will see you in the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.